So let's discuss about treatment of hyperglycemic hyperosmolar state. Okay, hyperglycemic hyperosmolar state. So we do complete initial evaluation and start IV fluids. 1 liter, about 1 liter of 0.9% sodium chloride per hour. Okay. After history and physical exam, obtain capillary glucose and serum or urine ketones and begin 1 liter of 0.9% sodium chloride over 1 hour. Okay, and draw ABG, CBC with differential urine analysis. Okay, serum glucose, blood urine nitrogen, electrolytes, chemistry profile, and creatinine levels, stat, and obtain ECG, chest x-ray, and specimens for bacterial cultures as needed. Okay, and we have to give three things. One is fluid, another is insulin, and another is potassium. Okay, so let's start with IV fluids, because we have to first of all determine volume status and give IV fluids. If it is in cardiogenic shock, then hemodynamic monitoring and pressures is given along with fluids. And if it is mild hypovolemia, then we evaluate mild hypovolemia, then evaluate corrected serum sodium. Okay, so how to calculate corrected sodium I have discussed in another video, you can go and see. And if it is severe hypovolemia, then administer 0.9% sodium chloride, okay, and 1 liter per hour. And then again determine hydration status. Okay, after determining sodium, corrected sodium, then determine hydration status. Okay, so hydration status. Okay, and if serum sodium is high, here I am writing serum sodium is normal, and here serum sodium is low. So what will we do if serum sodium is high, low? Okay, so serum sodium should be corrected for hyperglycemia. I am giving you briefly the formula. Okay, although I have discussed in another video. So for each 100 mg per deciliter glucose above 100 mg per deciliter, add 2 milliequivalent to sodium value for corrected serum sodium value. Okay, and now we go here. So if serum sodium is high and if serum sodium is normal, okay, then 0.45% sodium chloride depending on the hydration status. And if serum sodium is low, then we can give 0.9% sodium chloride depending on hydration status. And after giving this, when serum glucose reaches 300, change to 5% dextrose with 0.45% sodium chloride at 150 to 250 ml per hour. Okay, and now let's talk about insulin. So we initiate IV. Okay, IV regular insulin, and insulin is given in dose I am writing 0.1 unit per kg per body weight as IV bolus. Okay, and then we give 0.1 unit per kg per hour IV continuous insulin infusion. Okay, an alternative IV insulin regimen is to give a continuous intravenous infusion of regular insulin at 0.14 unit per kg per hour. At this dose, an initial intravenous bolus is not necessary. So that is alternative regimen. Okay, so we discuss this regimen here now. And if serum glucose does not fall by 50 to 70 in first hour, double insulin dose. Okay, if serum glucose does not fall by 50 to 70 in first hour, double insulin dose. And when serum glucose reaches 300, reduce regular insulin infusion. Reduce regular insulin infusion. Okay, regular insulin infusion to 0.02 to 0.05 unit per kg per hour IV. Okay, and keep serum glucose between 250 and 300 until patient is mentally alert. Okay, and after doing this much, check electrolytes, BUN creatinine, glucose every 2 to 4 hours, until stable. After resolution of hyperglycemic hyperosmolar state, and when patient is able to eat, initiate subcutaneous basal bolus regimen, multi-dose insulin regimen, and continue IV insulin infusion for 2 to 4 hours after subcutaneous insulin begin, to ensure adequate plasma insulin level. Okay, and now let's talk about potassium. How do you manage potassium status? So establish adequate renal function first of all. Okay, and then if potassium is less than 3.3, then hold insulin and give 20 to 30 milliequivalent per kg per hour. Okay, per hour until potassium is greater than 3.3. Okay, and if potassium is between 3.3 to 5.3, then give 20 to 30 milliequivalent potassium in each liter of IV fluid to keep serum potassium between 4 to 5. Okay, if you have not understood, I can write it for you here. Give 20 to 30 milliequivalent potassium in each liter of IV fluid to keep potassium between 4 to 5. And if potassium is greater than 5.3, then do not give potassium, but check potassium every 2 hours.